This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, Lou, I think you're the organizer right now.
I just hit record, so.
Okay. And it worked.
Michele, are you speaking?
We can't hear you, Michele.
I would suggest, would somebody else like to volunteer to lead the meeting until Michelle's
Okay.
stable, or else I will do it.
Yeah.
Is somebody
Okay.
gonna do this? Thank you. Go ahead, Judy.
Okay. Welcome to our blood cancer group. And I think everyone on is been here before except for Denver. And we want to welcome you. Did you tell us your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Denver Lewis.
Denver. Oh, your first name is Denver. Okay.
Yes, yes.
From Ohio. When you said Denver, I was thinking, okay, he's from Denver. Good. Welcome. Okay. I guess we'll go around and see if anyone needs time today. Denver gave us a little bit of information of him, but we'll go around. Lou, do you need time?
Some, yes.
Okay. Nancy, how about you?
I'll talk for a minute just because I heard Denver say he just was newly diagnosed with CLL, and I have CLL. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll give a little bit of my backstory.
Okay. Sally, how about
No,
you?
thanks. I'm fine. Wonderful.
Okay.
I
Lynn?
want to hear from Sally. We haven't
Oh,
seen.
you can hear from Michele.
Oh, I want to hear from Sally. Can you hear me? I want
Yeah,
to
we
hear
can
from
now. So
Okay.
take over. I'll let you take over. Oh, you went mute.
You're doing a fine job. Keep going.
Okay. Lynn, do you need some time?
Don't need any time.
Okay. How about you, Michele?
Yeah, just a little. A little.
Okay.
I have more questions for people than anything, but yes,
Okay.
just a bit.
Why don't Denver, do you mind starting? You gave us a little bit of background.
So Denver's here because he reached out to myself and my Kicking Cancer and Heals co-founder, Susan.
Okay.
And we invited him to our group meeting here. And now, Denver, do you live between two places, Northeast and somewhere else?
Well, I live about 45 minutes from Columbus, in Dayton, Ohio.
Guess I was off.
So I'm pretty close. But live in Dayton, and was diagnosed here in Dayton, and then got my second opinion at the James in Columbus at Ohio State.
Good place. Good place.
Yes, I'm very
Great.
pleased with everything I've gotten there so far.
They
Okay.
have a
Is that
lot
an
of,
IU t-shirt you have on?
No,
figure it out.
I'm all Ohio State here.
Well, I can't read the t-shirt, but it was red and
Okay.
black, so.
Do you mind
That's
standing up?
It just says the
Oh, okay.
For the Ohio State.
Ohio State, yes, the Ohio State.
Yeah, I get it. So the
Okay.
James has some excellent CLL specialists. That is a great place to land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm currently seeing Dr. Carrie Rogers, who's
Perfect.
she is amazing. I've met with her 3 times so far, and all 3 times that she's has really set my mind at ease with a lot of things. Just being diagnosed. You're talking to somebody who's just turned 60 years old and was never sick a day in my life. So this was quite a shock to me.
So what led up to being diagnosed?
Well, it was kind of weird. It wasn't your, the things from CLL that I've seen, like your blood counts are off and this, that, and the other, I started having some abdominal pain and some constipation, and I kind of brushed it off to I was working out too much type thing, and started noticing some blood in my stool. It had been 10 years since I had a colonoscopy, so I immediately scheduled a colonoscopy, had that done, and everything was fine. Was still having some abdominal pain, and went and had a MRI at a CAT scan in an emergency room one day, and they found a lymph node in my retroperitoneal area of my stomach. They did a biopsy here in Dayton, and one thing led to another, and that was my diagnosis.
Okay.
So it wasn't your typical, lymph nodes or blood counts off or anything like that. It was, I just had some abdominal pain and just feeling a little off.
Okay. Well, we have several of us that have CLL. I've had it since 2011. So, anyway. All right. We're glad you're here. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I was diagnosed in 2012.
Okay.
And Nancy, what about you? I think you're
Other CLL.
Nancy.
Right. And then Lynn has SLL, but I was diagnosed in 2019.
That's actually what mine is SLL. Sorry. I didn't know. They said it's the same thing, so.
It is. Lynn
Lynn-
actually has SLL. Lynn, can you come in with it? He may be
He
off.
might be at dinner.
He might be
His
eating
wife-
ice cream. He likes to eat ice cream when we're on these calls, and he never
Well-
shares with us.
Also, his wife, he's having to tend to his wife who has a broken wrist. So
We went to lunch yesterday. I'll just say this real quickly. We went to lunch yesterday with Lynn and Shirley. And Shirley, I think Lynn is like, yes, we're getting out. We're getting out. And she was such a trooper. We got hamburgers, and Lynn was so sweet. He cut hers all up for her. And then, she just slowly worked her way through because she's only got one hand. She had a compound fracture.
yeah.
Compound break. I mean, it was she's got open compound fracture of her left arm. My husband is a physician, so if ever I need a medical information, I just ask him, and he clearly understands what I do not. But anyway, we had a great lunch with them. We had a great visit, and I'm lucky. Lynn and I live about 15 miles from each other.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. There are three of us from Texas.
We're in Texas, yeah.
Yeah, when I was diagnosed, I was kind of, alone, and I was trying to figure, I'm like a sponge. I want to get as much information as I can, regards of this. And I reached out to some people. I did get on another chat, United Blood United Cancer.
Right. That's a good place.
Yeah, set in on a couple of those, but shared a couple stories that I didn't really like the way things went. I kind of had a bad experience, so I didn't want to set in with that anymore. So
There's also another group, CLL Society, is also another resource.
I had sent Denver that information.
Okay.
It all depends, also when you hit it during the month or during the week. Nancy can also share, because I know she has the link of another one that meets on Saturdays, if that works better for your schedule, Blood Cancer Uncensored.
Yeah, but I totally get Denver. Sometimes I'll get on one meeting in particular, and it's an international meeting, and there's one of the founders of the meeting, but sometimes he'll just start, and I'll think, does he realize that there are other people here that need to talk, or and so I totally get, sometimes those calls are real like, okay, I don't need to, but give them a second or third chance before you
Yeah.
really
Yeah, I
I
had
bet
some
you
genetic
might.
testing done, and I
What,
explained the mutations that I had,
and
and right
what are
away they
they?
were like, "Oh, that's bad."
Oh, no. So what are your,
I have the Notch1 gene mutation, and I am unmutated IGHV.
Okay.
anything else?
Those
Are
are
you,
it.
oh, you're lucky. So you're not, nothing else on there then.
No,
That's
not
pretty good.
yeah. I think so, and then so does my oncologist. Carrie Rogers said, hey, I see this every day, and you're fine. I got you. You're in good hands. So, but some of the other people I was talking to, they were like, oh no, that's bad. You don't want those. That's you got a poor prognosis. I didn't want to hear that. Being newly diagnosed.
No.
Well, the other thing is, yeah, well, as we all know in life, right? Some people, everyone has their own opinion. Also, sometimes people want to share their knowledge as limited or as robust as it is.
Yeah.
So, I love that Dr. Rogers said to you, she's got you. She does. She
Yeah.
is fantastic. I've worked with her a lot, and she's where it's at.
Yeah, she has a passion for this, and I feel it every time I talk to her.
Yeah.
So where do you live, Denver?
I live in a small town, Tip City, just north of Dayton.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I'm about 45 minutes from the James at Ohio State.
Because I'm in Indianapolis,
Oh, okay.
but I was born at Wright Pat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not far from there at all.
Are you too
Like I said,
close?
it used to be Fairfield, and then it was Osborne, and then it was all conglomerated into Dayton.
So do you two live close to each other now?
Indy and Dayton, about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, compared to, how far you are from here, that's pretty close. How far I am actually from each of you.
Yeah.
Denver, I know some other, I know a few other folks who live in Ohio, somewhat close to you. Interestingly enough, although I work with Dr. Rogers a lot, the others I know don't go to, they just happen to go to other doctors there when they had started,
Yeah.
stayed with them. But, maybe I can somehow, if you want to, meet with people in person, if you would like to do that, or when you're both there. Sometimes people, I know a lot of folks here from time to time, if we all happen to be in the same place at the same time, even though I keep trying to convince Nancy we need to do that when she's up north, we do it. And that actually is a beautiful feeling. And Sally came to my house
Oh, wow.
when she was on her way to Maine, was it? Yeah. So yeah, come on by, everyone. But it really is, like sometimes on some of these, the Facebook groups, will post, for me, I'm going to Dana-Farber today or tomorrow, whatever, anyone else going? And that's another way to meet up. Are you on the CLL support group? That's the most on Facebook. You're on Facebook. You would tell me that. And I know you're on Facebook.
Yes.
There's all sorts of groups. You just have to find the one that works for you. What's right for me might not be right, probably would be, but might not be right for Nancy or someone else, right? Or Lynn, but maybe a different one would be. So it's kind of best to look at a lot of them and see which one you resonate with, but not all of them are credible.
Mhm.
Not all of them a lot of them share some, they don't monitor necessarily some of the stuff people post, but you just said you're a sponge. So you're probably already ahead of the game, because it sounds like you've already been studying up from a fire hose.
Well, I've watched a lot of the patient power videos.
Those are good.
Found those very good, credible. A lot of the stuff, I don't like to Google, but the
Good.
patient power videos I felt were very,
They
and
are.
that's how I seen Michelle's story and Susan's and some of the other people on there.
Yeah, that's a good place.
It is. And they just on everything you see, I mean, patient power is, I mean, I don't say this because I report for them, but it's very credible. But just make sure anything you watch, because some of the things I reported on a few years ago are out of date now. So
Right.
just make sure you see, and everyone will tell you that here, the most recent or more recent things on the internet, as well as in the stories that you watch or read, because I'm just looking around here. I think for all of us, when we were diagnosed, there are newer, even Nancy, there are even newer treatments out today that are approved than then. Although some of the treatments are still being used,
Right.
there are some that are even newer or less side effects or whatever. But so where are you when it comes to, do you know how progressed or not progressed your CLL is?
Well, after they did the lymph node biopsy, they ordered a bone marrow biopsy, which showed less than 5% bone marrow involvement.
That's great. That's great.
And my spleen is a little enlarged, but that's about it. I'm not having any other symptoms. I'm able to work out 4 or 5 hours a week. No night sweats. No, I did have COVID about 3 weeks ago, but I got over it pretty quick. I had a fever for about a day and had some congestion, but got overall, pretty quick.
That is great. And Denver, I'd love to actually know this from everyone. I'm on treatment now and I work out. And when I was on a crazy treatment back at the end of 2015 and 2016, we'll call it old-fashioned treatment plus a newer treatment, I still, except for and they don't use chemo anymore, generally speaking, but except for my weeks with chemo, I weight trained still every week, 3 to 4 times, and did yoga as well. So and by the time you'll need treatment, there'll be all new things.
Yeah.
So you probably do not need to worry about stopping. Everyone's different. So don't come back to me and say, you said I could still work out the same. But
oh no, I'm not. I'm one of these people that want to. I get my mindset on something. I do it, and I'll continue to do it, even if it's just. I don't do a lot of weight training. It's more cardio, the stuff I do, just to keep my strength up and sort of thing. But yeah, once I set my mind to it, I follow through with it.
And you still, Judy, you do your exercise. You can share.
I walk and swim. I haven't swum lately, but I'm hoping to get back into that. Denver, do we have your email address so that we can put you on the mailing list?
Yes.
Can you put it in the chat?
Sure.
Too? Okay. If you want to put it in the chat, that way it doesn't go out to everyone. Okay. Lynn, I don't know if you heard, we figured you were denying us dessert and keeping it all to yourself, but Denver has SLL.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was in there eating some spaghetti, so I left the headset on the computer. My wife was talking to me at the same time, and I did not want to interrupt what y'all were doing. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Denver. I was diagnosed with SLL in 2013, and I was diagnosed via. Where'd y'all go? Oh, I just got a notice on my calendar. Anyway, I was diagnosed with X-ray and CAT scan that something was going on that involved the lymph nodes, and the diagnosis was made from a bone marrow biopsy, which showed 40 to 70% involvement in the bone marrow. So I started treatment pretty quick. I started treatment diagnosed at the end of September, 1st of October. Started treatment in the following January, about he was ready to start treatment in December, but I said, no, let's wait past Christmas. And my doctor was okay with that. So, and I was on one treatment. I started one treatment, it didn't work. And 3 months later, we switched to another one, switched to one of the BTK inhibitors, ibrutinib. I was on that for 9 years, and I'm now on a drug holiday. The very first treatment that I got is one that Sally and Lou are familiar with, Revlimid, and I was on Revlimid combined with Rituxan for 3 months. I think sometimes they call that R squared.
That's a good name. And then you were, and then I know it's amazing to me that, I mean, you've been able to be off treatment. See?
Almost 3 years now, almost 3 years. So got a good deep remission. And the doctor said probably 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. So I've already passed the 2.5. So, and I don't see him again until November. So he's trusting me to get blood work, and I'm running if I have any problems. But I do have kind of what I would call light night sweats, not heavy night sweats. But back when I was diagnosed in 2013, I had pretty severe night sweats. So would just drench the bread. And those that have had them know what those are like. You have to change your pajamas, etc. And also was running fever with no known cause. So another one of the B symptoms.
Lynn, I don't know if you can point out any of the nuances that maybe you would experience with SLL, if there are any, compared to CLL. So if Denver is reading anything on, the different social media groups or online, if there's anything that would be different that may not apply to SLL?
Well, for one thing, you kind of feel left out because the focus is on CLL, because I guess that's about 95% of those diagnosed are probably CLL, and the remaining 5% are SLL. And my doctor at MD Anderson, my wife called, made the appointment. My husband has lymphoma. They sent me to the lymphoma department. But the truth is, in my opinion, that if you've got SLL, you really need to go see a CLL doctor, because a CLL doctor or specialist, he deals with that, and SLL is just a subset of it. I ended up going to see a doctor there was a lymphoma doctor at MD Anderson, good doctor, but I think his counterparts in the leukemia department had a lot more experience and focus on CLL. The other thing, my doctor depended quite a bit on CT scans because my enlarged lymph nodes were internal, and so he could. After 3 months on Revlimid, he looked at the CT scans and said, there's been no change in the size of your lymph nodes, and that means that the Revlimid is not working. So we're going to change to a brand new drug that was just approved in February of 2014 called ibrutinib. So and then from there, I had a CT scan pretty regularly. I want to say at first we continued having them about every 3 months, and then every 6 months. And since I've changed and now go to UT Southwest Dallas, my doctor there does not depend as much on the CT scans, but I've had a couple. I've had a couple there. So, and while I'm looking there, Nancy has her hand up, so it's been up for some time.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question because I've heard it now in a couple of calls, and I'm not familiar with notches. What are notches?
So notches are one of the things that when they do your testing initially, the detailed flow cytometry And then there's also, of course, the fish test. Well, notches they find, and if you have them, not everyone has them, and they're considered a. I'm trying to think of the word. If you have, if you have more than one of these, notches. I'm sorry, I've had a long day. I'm trying to think of the exact word they use for what the notches show, and I know myself, I didn't even know until last week, 2 weeks ago, that I even had one of these, but I've had it. But my doctor never brought it up to me. And it's not that they don't matter. However, they can, but not everyone's do a thing. You know, like mine thus far has not come into play. It means that you have, and with Denver, he only has that and unmutated. Myself, I have, I also have 11Q. So I believe, I don't know if it's 2 or more or 3 or more. 3 or more makes you more, you have a complex karyotype. So I never even knew this, but it was also such a small percentage that she never brought it up. So Denver, that's also something is that, and you just said you only have 5% bone marrow involved. There's only 5% of your bone marrow that has SLL involvement. And on the notch 1, I don't know if they share this. You know, it would depend on how much they. What were you going to say, Judy?
I looked it up. It says it's a gene mutation.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know if you have?
I haven't seen it on any of my testing. I haven't seen it on my fish or my flow, or so I'm going to ask Dr. Wolf when I see her, but it was just something I hadn't heard before.
10 to 15% of the patients have it.
And I'm probably not one of them.
Right.
The other, Nancy, the other thing is it was never appearing on any of my things. I was trying to determine something with my doctor, like, am I, and I also try to learn during my appointments, right? So that for my work, but I was asking her, and Denver, this is something that you don't have to think about right now. But I was trying to figure out, so, you know, I've been on the drug I'm on for 4 years. Lynn's been on the same class of drug. He was on it for 9. Lynn, how many years were you on ibrutinib?
Years.
10? 9.
9.
Oh, you're muted. 10, 9. Yeah, that's what I thought. But some people, when they stay in a drug too long, my doctor's been saying that when you stay on it a certain amount of time, of course, your disease can outsmart it, right? And it can transform, or it can stop working the drug. So, you know, 4 years is a long time, knock on wood, and it's still working beautifully. But she's looking ahead to make sure that she looks ahead versus the disease gets ahead. So I was just asking her all these questions, like, well, when would that happen? And, you know, is there a database that shows if you have this plus that, it equals whatever? No, it's just a complicated disease. But I was actually asking her about Richter's. You know, since we know some people that's happened to, how does that happen, right? And so that's what I was trying to find out. Now, Judy, do you have?
I had Richter's.
Right. Did you have notch, any of the notches?
Mm-hmm.
No. And did you have any genetic mutations? And as you can see, Denver, he's here.
Unmutated.
Right, but that doesn't mean Richter's.
Yeah, right. It just developed.
And so Denver, right now, you're in a great place. And you had asked me before the average watch and wait. For you, it might be longer in that you've been diagnosed very early. Not everyone is diagnosed that early. Like Lynn just told you, when he was diagnosed, he was much farther along.
From what they told me, it was by chance, because like Lynn's story, my lymph node was internal. So it was by chance that I was having this stomach pain that was totally unrelated to the CLL. From what I later found out, that they, I was in the hospital about a year and a half ago with a UTI infection, and they noticed the lymph node there, but they didn't say anything to me about it until after, all these other symptoms started. And I noticed it said an unchanged lymph node in the retroperitoneal area. And I said, well, they never told me anything about this lymph node to begin with. And they said, well, it hasn't changed in 7 months. So, and that's when I went to see, to find out what was going on.
That was very
Denver,
good.
Denver, I had symptoms 10 years before I was diagnosed. I was running fever with no known cause. So I don't know. Maybe you got 10 years or more before you'll need treatment.
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully. Well, I will tell you it's great hope with all that's been developed in the time that we have been diagnosed, because when we were first diagnosed, it was chemo and a pill just coming out of the trials. But now there is just a huge amount of things that people can be prescribed for you, which is great.
yeah, the hardest thing for me to get used to was the fact that, I lost both parents to cancer. They were both smokers. I'd never smoked in my life. So when I heard the word cancer and watching weight, it was so, the mind started playing so many tricks with me and my kids. They're like, we don't understand, you got to get this taken care of. And, I told them, I said, I'm in the best place possible, and they're telling me this is what I got to do. So,
Well, that's the exact reaction I think all of us had when they say the C word, and what you hear is, here, it's early, let's get it out and take care of it. And with CLL and SLL, that's not true. So anyway.
Yeah, and it's so
I would,
counterintuitive.
I would just say we're playing the long game, and the longer you can be on active observation, it's another way to say watch and wait. But the longer you can be in that, I think, just my personal opinion is that's a great period of time, and I wished I'd enjoyed it more. I wished I'd been more, because I thought I had to learn everything, and I thought I had to become very involved in this cancer journey, whereas I could have just backburnered it for a while, and let my doctor do his job, and everything's good, and I like the way that I've gotten to do this, but I do think we're in the long game. We're not the people. Thank God. I mean, but I love hearing people's stories like Lou, who has just gone through many different versions of recovery and remission, and she's still, there's still lots of ways to go, and new things are coming. And by the way, Lou, you look really good tonight. So just think of yourself as on a journey that we're kind of blessed, because there's so many scientists who want to study leukemia, that we have a whole lot, and blood cancer. I think we have so many more choices than some of the rare cancers, and there's places where they're still stuck with the red devil. And so I feel blessed, really.
And
Yeah, and the good news for us with SLL is we're piggyback on with CLL. What applies to CLL applies most of the time to SLL as far as the treatment and the fish test and all that.
Well, and when we were first diagnosed, they were saying, oh, 5 to 10 years, But now they are saying that we have the life expectancy of a normal life expectancy. And if we die of something, it probably won't be a CLL or SLL. It will be something else. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I had a pretty good story. I was feeling, it was about a month after I was diagnosed. I just was in a dark place, and me and my wife was out, and I ran into one of my old business agents. I was a union steward for the Teamsters, and I ran into my business agent and was talking to him and his wife, and I said, well, I just recently was diagnosed with leukemia, and they said, well, what do you have? And I said, well, CLL, SLL, and his wife said, oh, I've had that for 15 years. I said, what? And she says, yeah, I'm still in watch and wait, and and 15 years, and she comes to find out she has the same oncologist that I do at the James.
Perfect.
Wow.
So I started feeling better after that.
Yeah.
That's great that's happened to you, that you happen to know someone. I mean, first degree versus of separation, right? Someone
Yeah.
who knows someone.
Yeah, Denver, I didn't hear how you ended up with Carrie Rogers, but she's one of the renowned CLL specialists in the world.
Yeah. When I first went to the James, it was kind of like you. I was referred to a lymphoma specialist, and he looked at all my stuff and he said, I don't think you have lymphoma. He said, I think, what you have is SLL, CLL. They did another biopsy and then referred me to the CLL clinic there at the James, and that's who I was lucky enough to get hooked up with, was Carrie Rogers, and she's been a godsend.
You've got the top-notch one.
Well, actually, Jennifer Woyak would be the top one there. But I don't think she takes new patients, because she does. I mean, she has patients, a huge patient load, but she also does a lot of research, a lot of her time spent on that. So I love Carrie. Yes, Denver, you landed so well. And I'm hoping that we're helping. Are we? I mean, what do you want to know before we jump to someone else?
Yes, I feel, by hearing some of your stories, I think, Lynn, I think I might have seen your story on Patient Power, maybe. And I, like I said, just hearing some of your stories and where you all come from, this is what I wanted more than anything, than just to talk about gene mutations and what the bad things mean and that sort of thing, is to hear people's journey and how they've been able to overcome some of the bad gene mutations and that sort of
thing. And it is a journey. I love the way Nancy said, we're playing the long game, and we are. And what did you say that, so Lou has, this is different blood cancers, right? So Lou and Sally have multiple myeloma. We have some other folks as well with that. But Nancy, were you calling it a bull rider? Like someone like Lou and Sally, you weren't here. Sally, you'd be a bull rider. Is it a bull rider?
Yeah, Denver, in Texas, we have these things called rodeo, and we also have football, by the way. But I won't get into that. I will see you in the fall.
Not like our football.
Well, I'm familiar with Texas football, because I'm also a Browns fan, and I'm hoping we get Arch Manning next year.
Good luck. And so anyway, but in Texas, we have these things called rodeos, which is very similar to the way we play football, but we have, different events in the rodeo. And I was saying, I've been through treatment, and I'm in a deep remission now. So I'm more like the barrel racer, or maybe the calf roper. Lynn and I are kind of on holiday. I think Lynn said he's the rodeo clown, but just kidding, Lynn. But Lou is our bull rider, and Judy too. Judy, I mean, she's kind of a veteran bull rider, but Lou is in the ring. She is riding the bull right now, and she is going for another remission and healing and recovery. And she's written a book to help other people. So, I mean, she hasn't laid down with this. She's definitely helping other people, as well as she's right in the middle of it. So that's what I was saying, Michele, about being a bull rider. She's definitely, and the bull rider is the one that everybody stays for the end. Nobody wants to leave the rodeo earlier because you'll miss the bull riding.
Well, I think Sally's a bull rider too. She's been
Yes.
fighting multiple myeloma for a pretty good while.
Right.
I'm the guy that's in the race where you run down to the end of the arena and there's some tied up goats and you got to milk them and get so much milk and then you run back to the other end. That's what they let the children do.
That and mutton busters, right? Is it
Mutton busters, yes. Yeah,
Sally
you have to
is
tackle a sheep.
I think Sally's a roper.
Yeah.
Is that what you call them? When the ropers, versus the bull rider?
Calf roper.
Calf roper.
I have to brush up on my terminology. Thank you for helping teach me there. So, yeah, let's hear from Lou, the latest, because you seem to have something new every time we see you, Lou. And I'm just hoping that you're doing, you look like you're doing better.
I am better.
Can you turn the volume up?
Sorry.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I think the last month I was talking about the new clinical trial that I was going to be starting called OPM, and it was not very far out of mice. So they didn't have a lot of information about
Still having trouble hearing you.
Sorry.
Maybe if the rest of us mute ourselves, I don't know if that'll help.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
You're just not real strong. You're kind of like like you're talking from from a distance.
Okay. I'll put it up closer to the computer. I was very enthusiastic, if you remember, about the clinical trial that was coming up and hopeful. That was this is number 6 clinical trial. I'm very much a person who believes in trying to give back. So that's why, of course, when you participate in a clinical trial, you want it, to be successful for yourself. But I also, having been raised by a minister, the altruistic side is important as well. So for me, if I can't help myself, then if I can, that's okay. But I want it to make a difference for other people. I think that it's important for us to give back, because these drugs that are out there, whether it's for CLL, SLL, myeloma, I think other people paved the way for us, to have these drugs like Revlimid, Darzalex, and all of these experimental drugs that are out there. No, none of us would have these drugs that are helping us without others who have gone before us. So that's why it's really important to me to participate in clinical trials. I always encourage you. Sometimes they go well, and sometimes they don't. And the one that I just came off of, they refer to it as OPN 6602. It doesn't have a formal name yet because it's not new. It's a clinical trial 1B. So that means, just barely out of life. So anyway, you do, some people are comfortable doing it, and some people to do that new into a clinical trial.
Lou, we're really having a lot of trouble hearing you. I think we're kind of getting a gist of what you're saying, but
Right.
most of it we're not getting.
When you kind of go to your left, it seems to come in better than when you're moving.
Or
Yeah,
Or if you,
there's a lot of
or if
background.
or if you have a headset you could put on, earphones.
Oh, that's your microphone?
Bluetooth, but it does through the computer as well.
Can't hear you.
We cannot hear you.
Does your computer have a mic?
We can hear that hitting something.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you hear me now?
Oh,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Okay, I took the Bluetooth off.
Yeah, it's much better.
Darn
Okay.
technology.
Okay, we'll try that. But basically, the clinical trial that I started, day one was February 11th. And I ended up in the hospital 5 days later. And I don't remember a lot of that time. And I do not remember going in the ambulance from the research center to the hospital. And it was scary. So, sometimes things happen. Sometimes you have those experiences where, a lot of people say it's like out of body. Mine was more within 1 foot of my body. I mean, when I was in the ambulance, you know how you see on TV the inside of an ambulance that has all the equipment. My brother's a paramedic or retired, but I've seen his, ambulances that he's worked on. They have tons of equipment inside, and we see it on TV. When they are helping people, and they talk to you. The EMTs and the paramedics talk to you, and I remember none of that, none. And I said it's almost like I was in a tunnel, and what was happening was my numbers, the new drug caused my numbers to go crazy. It was my kidney, my liver, my glucose, everything was off the charts. So they would not let David my husband, take me to the hospital emergency room. They said, no, she can stroke out. So he was upset and scared and followed in the car. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And so he followed in the car and was scared and said he kind of, was freaking out. And I was not freaking out because, like I said, I was like in a tunnel and did not really realize what was happening. But I went to the hospital. I was there for 7 days. And so I just got out last week, and my doctor at the University of Kansas hospital wanted me, since my myeloma numbers were kind of getting out of control, wanted me on something quickly. So I started 2 days ago. I started teclistamab, which I've been on before. You know, it's a bispecific, and I've been on it before, and it worked well until it didn't. I had neurotoxicities. You know, I couldn't remember my zip code. I couldn't remember my passcode for my computer. My handwriting to make out a grocery list, I had to recopy it 4 times. You know, so I had good and bad experiences with this drug, but it worked. After 2 weeks on teclistamab the first time, I was in remission. They could not find any myeloma in my bone marrow or in my blood labs. So they had to take me off of it because of the neurotoxicities, but I didn't have to take any maintenance drug or anything for 6 months. It worked that well.
That's my only treatment for the bispecific was in May of last year. I still have not taken another drug.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, bispecifics can be amazing. They really can. But what they were talking about, for those of you that are familiar with, obviously, Michele is, she's, you know, been to ASH and done interviews and things like that. But ASH is the hematological meeting they have each December. And they have presentations from the doctors talking about new drugs, new clinical trials, or old clinical trials, things that have results, and they report on it. Well, the one that was the big hot number at ASH for myeloma treatment was teclistamab paired with Darzalex. And so those two were part of the Majestic 3 clinical trial. And now and that one's closed now, but the Majestic 7 is still in process. But the thing is, I'm not doing the teclistamab and Darzalex. I'm not doing it as part of a clinical trial because they're both FDA approved drugs. And so the doctor can start me, like he did 2 days ago, start me back on teclistamab, watch the dosing, and if he needs to play with it or, you know, pull back on it and not give me the full dose, he can. When it's protected under a clinical trial, the doctor can't do that. They have to do exactly what the clinical trial is written as far as dosing. But Dr. Abdallah has leeway. And so that's why I'm back on it. And on Thursday, I start with Darzalex. And I will be on that combination starting Thursday. So keeping fingers crossed.
Wow. Good.
Lou, what day did you say you started the teclistamab?
It was Monday. I started teclistamab Monday. Last week, he started me on just a dose of dexamethasone to get ready. And the week before that, I was in the hospital. So anyway, I have to say, I am so grateful for groups like this, as well as, you know, the other ones that I've been involved with, Health Tree and IMF and of course, AnCan. And I learned so much. And that's one thing, Denver, I think that as a person who's been doing this almost 13 years, in May, it'll be 13 years. And I have to say that I have learned so much. I'm a retired teacher, and research is very important to me, and you know, real authentic research, and I try to go to reliable sources. But I have to say that I learned just as much from other patients and people who are like in this group and others, I learned so much that I have to say that it's such a big piece of my journey to be a part of support groups that I trust, support groups that I value, the information I hear, and this is one of those groups. So
Thanks. Yeah, it's good to have one that's.
Well, Lou, that was a mean old bull you were riding.
Yeah.
hey, listen, to kind of go along with horses and rodeos, I was in the second night I was in the hospital. I was so out of it and so exhausted. I wrapped myself around my, the hookups and pulled out one of the tubes and
Oh.
ended up, I said, it's like the Godfather scene, where the horse's head is in the bed and blood everywhere. I had that experience without the horse's head.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
You were
goodness.
riding that bull right then.
And the room was dark. David always, when he stays there, with me overnight, he wants the lights dim and in the hospital room. And I could tell I was wet, like on my, hospital gown and my hands. I kept thinking, what's going on? And then I was like that Godfather director. And it was
Well, Lou, you have shared with us so much by going through all these 13 clinical trials, and that's why you're the queen of clinical trials.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was definitely out of the movies. It was crazy, but and I
Okay,
could
you
not
just graduated.
I
You just
couldn't wake David
graduated.
up. I couldn't wake David
Yeah.
up. I keep saying, David. And he was right there next to me, on the couch. And he was so exhausted, so worn out, so stressed. He was like sleeping so soundly that I got a hold of the button, the nurse, and they came in and they had to go over and wake him up.
Oh, wow. He was exhausted.
So Lou, you just graduated. Sally just crowned you rodeo queen.
Yeah.
We're going to put you in the Hall of Fame.
I'm not so sure I want that title.
Yeah.
Oh, rodeo queen's a good title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
doesn't have to include all that.
That's
But
true.
you're so good at it, Lou.
Denver, I
wow.
hope we're not scaring you away.
No, not at all.
I also
You know
want to point
what?
out, Luke,
You got to laugh about it sometimes. I think that I know that people, when they hear me say, sometimes you just have to laugh, or sometimes you just have to find the humor when you can, because there are so many things that are tough, and there are so many times that you may want to give up. You just want to crawl in a hole and stay there for a while. But I try to find humor in things, and it helps me try to find a way to make it through on this journey. I swear. I hope people don't get offended sometimes. Like I watched that World War Z. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that movie with Brad Pitt, where there's a mutation and it turns people into zombies. I mean, it's just a crazy movie. But the great thing about it is he discovers that if you have cancer or some kind of catastrophic disease, the zombies don't want you.
Go figure.
So
if you've never seen,
huh?
if you
Wow.
have never seen World War Z, that's where cancer has an advantage over the healthy people.
So we're the ones who end up living.
Yeah.
You live. You live. Everybody else gets attacked by the zombies.
Okay,
stop.
safe from the zombies.
Oh my God. Does it have a theme song?
No, but it's got Brad Pitt, so hey.
Yeah, sorry
I mean,
guys.
that's great. So
When you said
Lou,
that,
I,
you had me at Brad Pitt. I was like, oh, okay.
Lou, I never did understand. Did you pull your IV tubing apart? Is that where the
yes,
blood came from?
yes, it pulled out.
Okay.
And that's
So
how I
you,
ended up with everything wet and bloody.
so you were making a massive blood donation right there.
Did. And so I was standing up and I was like, ah, ah. The nurses came in. So anyway, I'm sorry I was yammering. I'm on, by the way, I am on dexamethasone.
That keeps you feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
You clean the house.
Well, I'll say one thing, Lou. When the doctor sees you, he doesn't yawn and say, "Oh, how boring."
Hey, I got an award from him last year.
Lou, I'm so happy that you've made it through
Hey,
what you
listen,
described happened to you.
you
And
know what? All of us are lucky, to be here and have another day and be grateful. When you wake up in the morning, say, "Yay,
We are blessed.
here another day."
yes, and that no horse's head. I'm trying to think of no horse's head in the bed.
Yep.
You might be the godmother now, though, in
That's right.
addition to the rodeo queen. Lou, honestly, I heard what you were saying about clinical trials, and I feel like you're almost feeling guilty that you're not in one, but you have donated yourself, your body, your time to so many, to help so many. I think you need to give yourself some grace here, that it's okay to not be on a trial.
And that's I am okay. I mean, I don't have to have this one, be under a clinical trial. I just really am amazed that sometimes you talk about clinical trials in support groups or whatever, and some people are really afraid, to participate. So
But I think from your clinical trial with the medicine that you're taking now, that has helped. And now that your doctor can adjust it and you've had such good results from it, hopefully this will be, the bi-specific will be great for you. We're praying for that.
right.
And so your next step is you're adding on the Darzalex.
Thursday, yes.
I can
So
sure
in a week.
attest to the bispecifics. I'm, totally amazed that how, one treatment and I was totally MRD negative in less than a day.
Yeah, you have had really great experience with yours.
Yep. I had a slight fever, but Tylenol, put it down and it didn't slow the step up any. So,
yeah.
Sally, how many treatments did you end up having?
One.
Just one. Yep. So they didn't want you to have another one just in case, just the one.
He said I was so in deep remission that there was nowhere else to go.
That's great.
Wow.
I mean, I did have the 3 step ups and then 1 full, and that was it.
Okay.
And that's all within a period of a week and a half. So.
And was that Savastamab?
No, Elrexfio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What do you know so that trial that
I beg your pardon?
Elrexfio?
Yeah, ELREXFIO.
I'm trying to remember that, if that was presented this year.
It's brand new. It's only 6 months old.
Wow. So you were on the first cohort? Wow. That's amazing.
And it is a BCM bispecific, so
So
I
as
would
you can
assume
hear,
the others work the same way. What?
I was just going to say to Denver's, basically look at this. I mean, these are the results of some of these new drugs. It's amazing.
Yeah. And I've had myeloma since 2018. So my birthday was last week.
Oh,
And my real birthday is next week. So
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah.
thank you.
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. You going on a trip?
No, I'm too tired.
I thought you were going to go around the world.
You got to come to
No,
Kansas.
that's thinking about it.
I'm jealous. You came to see Michele. You've got to come to Kansas City and see me.
I
It
will,
wasn't-
because I have very good friends that live right outside St. Louis too.
It's not that she came to Boston just to see me. I'm so excited. I mean, like she was on her way to Maine and
You got to
did a
go
little
through Boston.
detour.
I saw the
So
new puppy in the background. How's the puppy doing?
she's still a crazy girl, but she's been calming down a bit. She's calmed down a bit, but she is just still, well, she's a puppy. I mean, she's 14 months old. She's a nut filled with energy. And I can't believe that, what would it be? 9 years ago, I guess 9 years younger, I could put up with it more, but she really is a lot more energetic than our last lab. She is.
No, labs are puppies all their life.
The last one that was who you met, she was more chill, but she was half English. And I really didn't understand there are massive differences between the two. And she's all American. And she is just, she wants to be, she should be out in the field, you know, doing field work and, you know, chasing birds or doing something. She needs a job.
Well, and the only labs I ever worked with or knew were my aunt and uncle's black labs, and they were field trial champions. So Uncle Mac and Aunt Doris would work them every day. I mean, in the pond or in the ocean or in the field. So it was fun. They raised their own pigeons and ducks too, so they could, you know, have something to throw.
So
I heard you talking about puppies. I was going to see where mine was. I have a 14-month-old Bernedoodle.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I haven't seen a Bernedoodle.
Yeah, he's a mini Bernedoodle. He's what they call a tricolor merle. So he has one blue eye, and he's about 4 different colors. So
pretty.
Yeah, he's very spoiled.
So the same age as mine. 14 months. Yeah, is he energetic too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's but he, you know, my wife works at home. So he's pretty, you know, he's pretty chill, really. I mean, he's got his toys and you know, but he's full energy.
So we started scent training Sally. So she's starting her field. We started scent training with her. So look at this cutie.
Hey, say hi. Anyway. Swagger.
Oh.
Say hi.
Well, hello there.
They're talking to you. He's helped me quite a bit.
You know, I have to say, they give a lot of love. They really do. Sorry, Sally. I was just saying, so you were saying the field. So we started, I was like, you know, if this was a human child, we would be developing her special skills, right? So we started scent training with her.
Yeah.
And see how that goes. And then when the weather gets better, perhaps I'll get myself a pair of green wellies and go into the fields, do some field training.
That'll be interesting. Especially if she hasn't had any to start with.
Where she was trained before, they were begging me to let her, because she has such natural inclinations and was bred to do that, which I didn't realize when they were telling me. For 5 generations, she's been her family. She came from field champions, like you were just saying. For all we
Well,
know, she
maybe
was
she
related
came from one of Uncle Mac's dogs
perhaps, or,
because he was in a gunquit, so that's not that far away.
oh yeah, that could be. Oh, look at this cutie. right
Southern
there.
Maine.
That could be. Oh,
That is a really cute dog.
He
it
is.
really-
No, Marco, I'm not getting rid of you.
Did you say Swagger?
Yes.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
That really is.
He's spoiled.
Can't imagine why.
So cute.
This is as big as he'll get, though. My son, he has a full-grown Bernedoodle. They get about 110 pounds. So mine will only get about 50
Why?
because he's a mini.
Oh, he's a mini doodle. Okay.
Yeah, they have three different breeds. They have a micro mini, which gets about 15 pounds, and then they have a mini Bernedoodle, and then the full-grown Bernedoodles.
I
And those
can't
get pretty
imagine breeding a mini to a Bernese mountain dog.
big. Well, yeah, it's a poodle and Bernese Mountain Dog. Yeah.
Well, I understand, but I can't imagine getting to get that size, a Bernese mountain dog and a mini poodle to get a mini mountain poodle dog.
And then, if they can do that, one would think they can find a cure for us, cures for us.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So, Sally,
Yes, dear.
so you're feeling good?
Feel
The
great.
congestion part's all gone.
Oh, yeah, the cough and the 7 antibiotics. Yeah, that's all gone.
Oh, good.
My arthritis is the only thing that's really bothering me now, and we got to get rid of wet weather to take care of that.
Yeah, welcome back to, right? California, did you have that?
No, we didn't have any rain and snow. Oh, I sold my house in California.
Oh, wow. That's a big thing.
Yeah, it should close tomorrow or Monday.
Are you sad about not having it now to know that
Actually,
you
not.
always...
Not with all the things that are going, and 80 degrees in February in Santa Barbara. I would not have liked that. So
We've had 80 degrees the last week or two.
in
Sounds pretty
Texas,
good to me right now.
Well,
I
it
was
was,
my fireplace on.
It was
it
82,
was
82 today.
36 here in Ohio 2 days ago, and it's supposed to be 74 tomorrow.
We were 82 today.
We were 60. Did you
We've
have
got
that
about
4 inches of snow on
4
Saturday,
inches of rain.
Denver?
Pardon
Denver,
me?
did you get all that snow on Saturday?
We got it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, we got all that.
We-
Well, we got another one after all the warm weather, and it was beautifully and warm on Friday, and then Saturday we got 4.5 inches of snow.
No, we just been getting rain. We've
And
gotten
no,
about
that was we got that yesterday.
5
so-
inches of rain the past week.
Well,
We had
4
one.
of that 5 was snow.
Oh, we've had it all and more. I'm so tired of snow this year, but
And cold. It has been so bloody cold. I mean, in below 0 for a week and a half.
ooh,
I would be
Just like when we were
hibernating.
growing up as kids.
we do. It's not healthy. So Judy, how are you doing?
I'm
She looks
doing
good.
okay. I am still on my venetoclax and Jaypirica, the pirtobrutinib. I am talking on Tuesday of next week with Dr. Awan about doing CAR T. And his suggestion is because at this time my burden, disease burden is very low. He said that I would have probably a better outcome from CAR T. And instead of finishing the regimen that I'm on and then doing it, that coming out, going into remission and then waiting until coming out of remission again and doing CAR T. He said I would probably have better results doing it now. And so I am pretty much have resigned myself that that's what I'm going to do. And I've already got my brother on tap for coming in May or June to stay a month, because I have to have someone with me about a month. And I think that I'm going to do it. He said that, and I think even in ASH and some of the other reports, that they're having really good results with it, even to the possibility, but they don't have a long enough track record yet, that they're even hinting at cure. If not cure, at least a longer remission than my 3 years that I've had, or between each one. Since I've had 5 treatments, and I'm ready to do something to go longer.
So,
Is it going to be Carvecti?
I think it starts with a B, from Bristol Myers.
Abecma?
Yeah, I think so.
Abecma or CAR-T or Carvecti?
I think it's the other one. I think it's the Bristol Myers one, I think.
Yeah.
This one will, it will be true CAR-T, and that it will be, as opposed to it happening within your own body, it will be done.
They will take the T cells out, send them and be manufactured, and then in 2 to 4 weeks, they should be back, and I will then go in the hospital for a month. Although he said, some people, they're doing it outpatient even now.
Yeah.
But because of my history, I will be in the hospital for at least a week. And they even, because they've learned to control the side effects so much now, that even they used to say you couldn't drive for over a month, and now they've got it to like 2 weeks.
And also your disease burden will be nearly non-existent when you start. That means you wouldn't get.
I'm hoping I won't have to have much of the bridging chemo. I know that they do give the bridging chemo before, and I'm hoping I don't have to have very much of that, since the disease burden will be pretty low.
I was curious if he's going to leave you on the Perto.
I don't know. Well,
just for the beginning.
Yeah, one of the things he said when we talked 2 or 3 months ago, he said that the research had shown that it's better to be on ibrutinib. They had better results being on.
I saw that.
Ibrutinib. So I'm pretty sure he'll probably take me off of the other and put me on ibrutinib.
Yeah, and I was really astounded by that versus one of the newer ones, right? But yeah, I did see that. But
it also kind of scares me a little bit because of the side effect with the heart arrhythmia and stuff like that. So
part of that, and I don't know because I didn't ask. I will the next time I interview one of these docs, is that I wonder if that's just because that is the oldest and the longest studied, and that's what they have the research on, versus one of the newer. But I've also seen it compared with some of the others, right? And it's done.
Evidently, it's been compared with some of the other BTK inhibitors too, because he said that was the best one
for the CAR-T.
Yeah.
And that's why I was curious if he was going to leave you on the Perto instead, but I'm looking forward to learning that. And what he's suggesting is, by your doing this, then you don't have to be on treatment. And that potentially this could be, you may not ever need, you could be UMRD and not need treatment ever again.
Hopefully.
I've heard that CAR T is, since ASH, I've heard a lot more about CAR T being prescribed.
Yeah.
As the treatment.
Yeah. He said he's had several patients that are doing really well on it. So
that's wonderful.
So that's the conversation on Monday.
Oh, please let us know.
Actually, Tuesday's my appointment, because I'm there all day. I'm getting my reclass for osteoporosis, and
I just had mine this week.
and my breathing treatment, which I'm sure that I'll probably continue taking, and then have to have IVIG and all of that. I probably will be having IVIG in the next week or two also, because it was going down the last blood test, and this time I'm sure it's low.
Well, Trudy, please let me know, and all of us, how that goes. We'll be thinking of you on that, but that's fascinating.
It'll probably be May or June, when it all happens. But
Denver, did you have a question? Did I see your hand go up, or was that for your dog?
No, I was just scratching my neck.
Well, just for your information, Denver, I'm on my 5th treatment in the many years. So, and
in 2013, you was diagnosed, or
2014.
2014?
Yeah, but I had Richter's, which was you're talking about in your intestine and whatever. I had a lymphoma within my colon and had half of it taken out, and then had some very stiff chemo that I'm in complete remission from the Richter's, so that's a good thing. But
awesome.
I had a colonoscopy 9 months before that happened. So
does that not find it?
9 months before, there was nothing.
Huh.
So that's how fast it developed. The large B cell is a very fast developing lymphomas usually. So, but I'm doing okay, and I'm expecting to do okay, and that they can manage it all. So, looking forward to being on the other side of it.
That's why having a really good specialist is so important, huh?
Right. Yeah.
We trust them, that we know. We just put our, but still good to ask questions, as you are. Nancy, what's going on with you?
Well, I wrote a book in the month of February. Our ranch is it's in Texas. We're at 100 years. They consider it a family heritage ranch, and this is our 100-year birthday. And so I wrote a book to commemorate that, and I've been working pretty good on that. And I'm in deep remission, but you get one thing handled, and then it's just age appropriate actions. Something else pops up, and it's like, okay. So since being diagnosed in 2019, I've also been diagnosed with I actually had vertigo before I got diagnosed, but then I got SVTs, and which is a cardiac issue. So I have a cardiologist now, and I've had diagnosed with colitis. So I'm having a colonoscopy on March 30th. But I think that one of the blessings and gifts of my diagnosis was becoming way more aware of catching things early, not ignoring things. And then also because my one and only treatment so far has been Venclexta with obinutuzumab. And when you're on Venclexta, it's so important to drink like 90 ounces of water a day. So I had my 32 ounce water bottle, and if I drink 3 of those a day, but I still do that. I still hydrate, and so anyway, it's just a matter of each day is a gift, and some days have a few more challenges in them, but they are all really beautiful days because I have an opportunity to continue. Um, right now, I think my focus is on legacy, and I have 5 grandchildren, so I write for them also. But Denver, I guess 2 things. My treatment got initiated because my spleen got so enlarged. So I went from when I was in watching weight having 7 centimeter spleen. When I finally started treatment, I think it was around 19
Whoa.
centimeters. It was very, painful, and I wasn't eating, and it was just, it was interesting what triggered time for treatment. And then my treatment, my doctor is just beautiful. She's at UT Southwestern, and she's the up and coming brightest star. That Dr. Awan and Dr. Collins, who's the head of that department, brought her back, and her name is Dr. Wolf. And she's so good at listening and looking at lifestyle, and that's how we chose Venclexta, which is a fixed duration. I was on in obinutuzumab. I was on infusions once. They started weekly, and then they went to monthly. So about 6 months in, I was finished with the obinutuzumab. But the Venclexta gets started a little later, but then it goes for a year, and it was just perfect for me. And she tests my remission with a test called clonoSEQ, which looks at it deeply. It's as deep as they can look into the
1 in a million cells.
10 to the minus 6.
It's the best they can test. So knowing that I'm in that deep of a remission is really it's nice to know that, because a lot of times, a lot of my life is about what's going on up here and what the committee is saying. And so I have to tell the committee a lot of information, like, by the way, your clonoSEQ is in the bank, so you need to stop acting. So yeah, and then the other thing I think is, for me, it was a lifestyle change because I had a lot of fatigue, and I also feel I have a hard time if I get sick. It takes me about 2 to 3 times as long to get well, and so I'm much more cautious about group gatherings. I don't go. We attended a very big church, and I'm very reluctant to go in person during October to March because of flu and that. So things like that, just learning some lifestyle changes for myself has helped. And then I learned this term that you may have already heard, but I look at everything, and I use sort of the filter of risk versus benefit. So it's too risky for me to teach art classes now to children, but there is too much benefit for me not to have time with my grandkids. So that's kind of that risk versus benefit. I don't teach, but I do go hang out with my grandkids, and sometimes I get sick from them, but that's where that risk versus benefit is important. So those are just the things I think. You're getting really good information at this meeting, and these people here are way ahead and have been just paying attention, and they all serve I mean, Judy and Michele and Sally and Lynn and Lou. I'm the only one on this call that's not a facilitator. So you're getting like the golden team here of people who not only have illness, but they're dedicated to educating and serving others. So it's a good night to be here. We got the A team.
Yeah, this is definitely what I've been looking for. As far as a long-term outlook of what I might be expecting in the future. And the thing with me is me and my wife are both very outgoing. We love, going to concerts, gatherings, family gatherings and things. Um, and that's going to be the big adjustment, but, hopefully I can keep this thing off as long as possible. So.
Yeah, just keep it. And you may be one of those people who some people never need treatment. As you said, your friend's wife.
Yeah, 15 years. I was shocked.
And that does happen. I know. I kind of wish I was one of them. I bet everyone else does too.
Yeah.
I know. Nancy, you do a lot on your own to help with everyone here. So.
Well, and just in regards to that, I'm going to just see if I can. Hey, Ivy, can you show your look? Can you say hi? So y'all were bragging about yours, but mine, I said I wasn't getting another dog. And about a month into treatment, we saw an ad. I'd been looking at, she's a toy Australian Shepherd. And we'd had full-size Australian Shepherd before. And I told my husband we were just going to go look and see how yappy this little dog was, how yappy there. And this little puppy, there were about 9 puppies that were on the yard, and we were all looking, holding, and they were the sweetest dogs. But she just kept, every time I would move to go find another little puppy, she would just move over next to me, and she wouldn't paw at me, and she wouldn't do anything. She'd just lay down next to me. And then I'd move and she'd just lay down. And so she kind of chose us. And then I, like I said, I really wasn't thinking we were getting a puppy. So I sent an email or text out to all my friends like, okay, we've got a new dog, but I don't know what to name her. And of course, I got all the classic names like Faith and Hope and all these sweet names. But I have this friend, and she's like really in tune, and she said, Nancy, name her Ivy. And I said, well, and she said, because I had a terrible time with my IVs for the obinutuzumab. Like they could not stick me, and when they did, and it was just I would pass out. And so, and my friend Sue was like, not only is it like you're kind of commemorating your treatment, but also it's a growing thing, and it's green, which is my favorite color. And it was like, oh my gosh, that's it. She's Ivy. And now she turned out to keep me. Treatment really knocked me down, and there were days that getting out of my pajamas was like that was huge victory. But because she was a puppy, she needed to be trained and she needed to go outside. And my husband does so much, and he did a lot of that, but he knew too, she was motivating to me.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Michele, we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, I don't really have anything much. I did not, always a bridesmaid and never a bride is how I feel. I did not reach UMRD after my oncologist told me that, and she's never said anything like this. My blood work wasn't a whole lot different than it has been. On paper, it looks good, right? Until you go to a UMRD is undetectable minimal residual disease, Denver, or it could be also called MRDN, which it's minimal residual disease negative or negativity. So, she told me my blood work had been looked and had been looking pristine and perfect. Never said anything like that before. So she said, let's test let's see if you're UMRD yet. But I've never gotten a colonoscope and still haven't. They will not do that until the 10 to the -4 comes back within, would come back at like, what would it be? 0.01%.
Yeah.
So that has not happened, and it still has not happened. She got me all excited, all worked up. I'm like, yes, this is going to be the time. It's going to be the time. So close, but no. So I was at 0.07%. But the time before that, it was 0.03%. And the time before that, it was 0.06%. So it's all been under
1.
10. Yeah, it's been that, but it has not been what's needed. So I don't even rate a clonoSEQ test yet, but I know other places that's all they do.
Well, they just did mine last time I had blood work, but I haven't gotten the results yet. So I'm hoping to know Tuesday.
But, and then I had my reclass this week, and I'm happy to say this time I did not have, that's for if you have osteoporosis or if it's more prominent in women, Denver. And if you work out like a banshee, like you're saying, you run, hopefully that's not happening. But the first time I had a horrible reaction, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to have reactions. But this time, knock on wood, no, not really.
Good.
So hopefully that won't happen again. But it had been 22 months since my last one.
Oh, wow.
So it was supposed to be 18 or 19 months, but due to life and other circumstances and booking, it's what it ended up being. So hopefully I didn't shrink anymore.
Yeah. Mine's been a year. So, but the results on the scans there showed progress. So that was nice.
Yeah, I had great results. Well, probably between that and weight training.
Yeah.
So the two together probably helped. But other than that, I don't know really what else. Life is winter is going to be ending soon, and that makes me extremely happy.
Yeah.
Y'all how many inches of snow have you had altogether? A lot.
Oh yeah, it's not historic, but it's the most in a very long time. I want to say we've gotten, I don't know, maybe 70 inches this winter.
70? Cool.
And when I was younger, we used to get a lot of snow, but in recent years, we've had pretty mild winters the last probably 7-8 years. Oh, my niece is getting married. She's engaged, and she asked me to be her maid of honor, which is very sweet. So that's exciting. So I'm helping plan a wedding. So that's very exciting to me.
That's fun.
Lynn, you might be with Shirley. Yeah, he said that. Oh, I'm back.
He was helping with medicine a minute ago.
Lynn, if you're there, you're up.
If he's not, Denver, did you put your email in?
No, not yet.
Go to the chat and do that, please.
Does anyone else have anything else? Our next meeting will be, hold on.
Are you getting that, Michele?
Yeah, and I actually had it, but I wanted to make sure I have it right here. Yes. Our next meeting is, let's see, Thursday. It's always the first Thursday of the month, and it will be, oh my gosh, April 2nd. How exciting. Spring. Hopefully we'll have spring by then consistently. But it sounds like you all are having it.
We've had it for 2 or 3 weeks, although we're to go back to the 60s next week.
Isn't the rodeo in another week or two? The Houston rodeo? I was thinking of coming down for it.
I think it's right now.
Is it right now? Oh, wow.
I think Fort Worth was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was in January.
That's the Fort Worth one, but the Houston one.
I think I heard something on the news that it's like this week or so. I think it might be a couple of weeks.
I know it's in March, yeah, and it goes for a couple of weeks. Well, maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. I was thinking of coming down. One of my friends had said to come down, but I guess I should have asked what week it was. But thank you all for being here, Denver. We hope to see you again.
Yes,
always
absolutely.
Great. Well, your email, you'll be on
Great,
the
great
invitation link.
meeting all of you.
It was so nice meeting you. Take care, everyone.
All right.
And Lou, good luck.
Good luck, Lou. Good luck, Judy.
Bye.
Yes, yes. Good luck, all of us.
Yep.
Okay.
Take care.
Yes.